Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello everyone. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. I am Dr. Aman Zafar, Associate Professor of Medicine and Consultant Diabetologist, Bakai Institute of Diabetology and Endocrinology, Bakai Medical University, Karachi, Pakistan. Today I am going to present a very important topic on the theme awareness and actions. My title is Preventing Diabetic Foot Complications Before They Start. So, over the next 15 minutes, I will explore why diabetic foot complications happen and how can we spot early warning signs of diabetic foot. And most importantly, what simple actions can we make biggest difference. So we all know the worrisome statistics of diabetes mellitus throughout the world. Diabetes affects 589 million adults between 20 and 79 years people worldwide, and up to 15 to 25% of the people they develop diabetic foot ulcer in their lifetime, and the major cause of amputation and disability. Most cases are preventable with timely care and awareness. So, why there is more burden of diabetic? Because of the increasing number of people with diabetes, and because of people with diabetes, they are not getting proper education. That's why they are developing diabetic foot complications. So these are the figures of why there is burden of diabetic foot. 50 to 70% of non-traumatic lower limb amputations are diabetes related, and 85% of the amputations are preceded by a foot ulcer, and the economic and emotional costs are very high, and mortality after amputation approximately 50% at 5 years, worse than many cancers. So why the foot is at risk? So we all know the main culprits. One of the main culprits is neuropathy. Neuropathy, we all know the sensory neuropathy, loss of sensation, and the unnoticed injury. Patient develops injury because of the loss of sensation and develop ulcer. Because of the motor neuropathy, patient develops deformities and high arch and abnormal pressures over the plantar aspect, and these abnormal pressures will develop the calluses and the blisters that will lead to the foot ulcer. Similarly, autonomic neuropathy, this is one of the other type of neuropathy which can lead to the cracks on the plantar aspects and AV malformation. This will lead to the cracks over the plantar aspects that can lead to the ulcer formation, as well as the in advanced neuropathy it will lead to the Charcot foot. Another culprit is ischemia, that is peripheral artery disease. Poor circulation delays the healing. If patient develops ulcer due to any reason, due to trauma by the footwear, because of the poor circulation, patient will develop non-healing ulcer. And when patient develops ulcer, whatever the underlying cause, neuropathy or peripheral artery disease, the infection comes in, especially in our part of the world where the environment is very dirty. So the infection comes in, and this infection is due to the impaired immunity in diabetes, and it grows very rapidly, and it is the main reason for the mortality and morbidity. And we know the deformities develop in patients' feet due to motor neuropathy. So this will lead to the altered foot mechanics, and patient develop pressure ulcers. So these are the risk factors which in the previous slide we have some factors discussed. But the most common main culprits are peripheral neuropathy and peripheral artery disease. So, but why they develop, why people with diabetes develop peripheral neuropathy or PD? One of the factor is long-standing diabetes or poorly controlled diabetes. And along with this, when there is neuropathy, patient develop foot deformities, and because of the foot deformities and high pressures, they develop calluses, and the calluses are the future ulcer. So, if there is patients are wearing inappropriate footwear, this is one of the leading cause of developing foot ulcer, especially in people with peripheral neuropathy or peripheral artery disease. That can lead to the blister formation or callus formation, that can lead to, or sometimes can lead to the ingrown nail, that can lead to the major complication. And of course, if there is previous ulcer, history of previous ulcer or amputation, this is also a major risk factor. Sometimes patient may develop retinopathy and they are having poor vision, or sometimes the limited mobility. They can also are prone to develop foot ulcer. So, recognizing the at-risk foot. So, how to recognize the foot at risk? It's very simple. 1 to 2 minute foot check. So, if someone is wants to identify whether this patient is at risk or not, so we have to identify the loss of protective sensation, that is LOPS, and we have to palpate the pulses. So LOPS, protective sensation, loss of protective sensation or absent pulses, such patients are at high risk. So it is very easy to check the protective sensation by monofilament, and it's very easy to use your 3 fingers to palpate the dorsalis pedis pulse and the posterior tibialis pulse. So if you are finding that there is a loss of protective sensation, and if there are any one of the pulses absent, it means the patient is at risk. So it is very important to recognize the patient at risk. So very simple. If patient is in the clinic, the doctor and the foot care assistant and the podiatrist, they have to inspect the skin whether there is any color change, cracks and callus formation or ulcer. So pulses we have to palpate, and we have to check the temperature. It takes only 1 to 2 minutes. So only 1 to 2 minute examination. We can recognize, we can detect the foot at risk. So in briefly, I will again repeat it. By using the monofilament, we have to check the loss of protective sensation. Then we have to use our fingers to palpate the pulses, dorsalis pedis and posterior tibialis. If any one of the pulses is absent, not palpable, it means the patient is having peripheral artery disease and patient is at risk. Sometimes we have to check the temperature sensitivity. If the temperature of the foot, dorsum of the foot is raised, it means some pathology is there. For example, the cellulitis is developing, or sometimes the patient is developing underlying Charcot neuroarthropathy. So simple inspection, color, or if patient is having cracks because of the autonomic neuropathy, or if on the plantar aspect, if patient is having callus or ulcer. So these are the patients with diabetes, they are at risk. So this is the IWGDF classification and risk stratification. It is very important for all healthcare professionals, including the physicians, doctors, podiatrists, foot care assistants, nurses. So according to this classification and risk stratification, we have to ask our patient to follow in OPD. If the category 0, if patient is in category 0, it means they have no loss of protective sensation and there is no PAD. So we have to ask patients, they have to follow once a year. If category 1, that is ulcer risk is low, but patient is having loss of protective sensation or peripheral artery disease, then we have to ask patients to visit every 6 months or 12 months. If patient is in category 2, that is moderate risk. If patient is having LOPS plus BAD or LOPS plus foot deformity or BAD plus foot deformity, once we have to ask the patients to attend diabetic foot clinic once every 3 to 6 months. And if the patient in category 3, patient comes in the high risk, and if the characteristics of this high risk patient is having LOPS or BAD and one or more of the following: history of a foot ulcer, lower extremity amputation if there is a history of minor or major amputation, and if patient is having end-stage heart disease or heart failure. So these are the patients with high risk, and such patients are requested to attend foot clinic for by the examination by the podiatrist or the doctors once every 1 to 3 months. So with this stratification, with this classification, which should be known by every doctor, every podiatrist, and every healthcare professional, we can at least reduce the risk of diabetic foot complications. So the simple preventive actions. What are the simple preventive actions for the diabetic foot care? It's very simple, and these are 10 points which we have to remember. Every foot care assistant, every podiatrist, every nurse, they should know. They have to counsel, they have to educate whenever a patient with diabetes coming to the OPD, and if the doctor who has a diabetes educator, or the hospital setup who have diabetes educator, or podiatrist or diabetic foot care assistant, they have to tell all these 10 points. The number one is daily foot inspection. It's very important. So we have to ask the patient to check your foot every day. Keep feet clean and moisturized. Wash and moisturize regularly. Never walk barefoot. Choose proper footwear. Wear shoes that fit well. Trim nails carefully. Control blood sugar and risk factors. Keep blood sugar, blood pressure, and lipids in check. Regular foot screening. Have feet checked periodically. Educate and empower patients. Teach patients to inspect their feet every day before going to sleep, and encourage regular follow-up, schedule regular follow-up examination. So these are the simple actions. These are the simple actions by which we can prevent the diabetic foot complication. Sorry. So the role of the healthcare team, family physicians, nurses, family physicians, the role of healthcare team. So we have to make teams. So by making a team, by teamwork, we can reduce the diabetic foot complications. So the family physician, the nurses, they should be involved in screening and education. Podiatrists, they have to involve when if they are examining, and if the patient is having calluses, they have to remove, they have to debride, and they have to ask the patient having a offloading sandal or offloading shoes to prevent the development or recurrence of callus formation. Vascular specialist, very important role. The doctor has to assess the BAD, and if the patient is having BAD clinically as well as by examination by ABA, then we have to consider the vascular specialist to come and see those patients and decide about the revascularization. So the multidisciplinary diabetic foot clinics are very important for the best outcomes. So this slide shows when to refer our patient. This is very important simple action. If this section taken by the primary care physician, we can save the major amputations, we can save the minor amputations, we can save the morbidity we can save the mortality. So if the primary physician is coming across a patient with non-healing ulcer, and more than 2 weeks have gone and the ulcer is not going to heal, so the primary physician's duty is to immediately send this patient or refer this patient to secondary and the tertiary care unit where the diabetic facilities are. If a doctor, if a family physician or a podiatrist see a patient having black or cold foot, blackened toes or black or cold foot, so it means that patient is having a critical limb ischemia and should be referred immediately to the secondary and the tertiary care where revascularization or vascular team is available. If patient is having knee swelling and develop redness or foul smelling, this also is very important sign of moderate to severe infection and should be referred to the secondary and tertiary care. This is not in the domain of the primary care physician. And the patient is coming with the recurrent ulcer. Again, such patients should be sent to the secondary and tertiary care where the diabetic foot facilities are available, where the doctors and the podiatrists will found the cause of the recurrent ulcer, which may be due to offloading. Patient is not having offloading shoes. And if the patient is having signs of infection, moderate or severe infection, or the toes and the part of the foot is becoming gangrenous, bluish, and in such cases, the primary physicians, they have to immediately ask and immediately arrange the patient to send to the secondary and tertiary care units to save his or her limb for the major amputation. So these are very important points when to refer. So this is a step model, very simple mnemonics prevention. For the prevention, the action S means screening regularly. Screen regularly. Each footwear, E, ensure proper footwear, B, promptly treat minor injuries. So the step model is very important and it will include almost all. So if the doctors and the healthcare professionals, they are screening regularly their diabetic patients and the podiatrists are giving proper foot care and patient is having a proper footwear, they have been counseled for the proper footwear, and if they develop any minor injuries, minor ulcer, they should be promptly treated. So this model is very important and should be considered by some organizations. So we also know that the diabetic foot is linked to the cardiovascular risk. High risk of MI and stroke is always there with diabetes, especially if the patient has been found having peripheral artery disease. Since we know the peripheral artery disease is an atherosclerotic disease and atherosclerosis is a generalized disease. So if patient is having peripheral artery disease on screening, it means the patient is at risk of heart attack and stroke. So we have to integrate foot care with overall cardiovascular prevention. So the take-home message is diabetic foot is largely preventable. Regular screening and education are key. Early action prevents ulcer, amputation, and death. Every healthcare provider plays a role. So these are the take-home messages, and this was my last slide. And I am very thankful to the organization who have asked us to make this presentation. Thank you.